irritability, anger, hopelessness, overwhelmed, rage, depressed, and many more. These are the things that plague me today, that have plagued me for years, over a decade. These are the emotions that have plagued my family and anyone that I've ever been with after my deployments. These are the things that I've struggled with and have not found solutions for. Only short-term solutions. It's so frustrating that no matter how hard I try, I still struggle with these issues. I used to be a really laid-back guy. Still am. I used to be patient and not overwhelmed, not depressed. After my deployments, I realized my issues were a lot worse than I thought they were. I could be happy 1 minute, and then for some reason, I can't even explain it. It feels like I can feel it in my body. I can feel it almost in my cells, in my brain, that I can feel the chemical changes happening, where I go from a relaxed, happy mood, a good state of mind, to being irritable, being frustrated, being overwhelmed in an instant. And I can't explain it. No matter how much I try and stop it, I get overwhelmed by it. When I get overwhelmed, when I get irritable, I shut down. To not affect the people around me, I shut down. The last thing I want to do is hurt someone else, to put someone else in a funk or a bad mood like I'm in, so I shut down. Another thing that's bothered me that I can't understand why is when people are really happy around me, or even if I'm really happy, but especially if other people are happy around me, my kids, they're laughing, they're loud, whatever, it bothers me. It brings me down. It makes me irritable. And I hate that about myself. No matter how much I try and stop it or affect it in another way, I still get that way. When I hear people laughing, people in a good mood, it bothers me. I can't explain, I can't put it into words, but it makes me irritable and it makes me shut down. And I know it's wrong, but it's something in my body that changes me. And it's almost on a cellular level. I struggled with this for years. With each deployment, my attitude got worse, my behavior got worse, and I didn't do anything, to make it worse. I didn't want to be angry, I didn't want to be that way, but I just became that way, and I started secluding myself, and I started shutting down, and it's messed up my family, it's messed up my kids, and they're still happy kids, they're still great kids, and they know my issues because I have conversations with them. I keep an open dialogue with them to make sure they know what's going on. I try to have the discussion with my kids all the time. Today's no different. Today's one of those days. I was in a funk yesterday. This morning, I got up, did my morning routine that I do every single day. Normally, it puts me in a great mood, amazing mood. I'm waking the kids up. Hey, good morning, it's time to wake up. Did that this morning and then quickly got irritable, and my kids knew that. They felt it. My kids are empaths, much like me, and they knew something was wrong, so they were quiet too. Before they got picked up by the bus, I told them, hey guys, I'm sorry. Dad's not having a good morning. I'll fix it before you guys get home. I try to have these discussions with them, and then they understand. I explained to them why I had these issues. Hey guys, it's because I was in the Army, it's because I had deployments, bad deployments, and I can't explain it, but I'm just in a mood. And sometimes I don't even need to say it. My oldest two, they can read me really well. They're like, Dad, are you okay? I'm like, yep. They're like, is it because your issues? And I'm like, yep. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful they understand. The younger two don't. But I try to tell them that I'm sorry, because it's not their fault. And I make sure they know that. That's not their fault. I used to shut down, not tell anyone, and then I realized when I went through therapy, I felt better. And this is, in a sense, therapy in itself. I realized more of these videos I make, the better I feel. So for you guys out there that struggle with this stuff, even if you're not posting this stuff, maybe making videos is, therapy. Maybe it's gonna be therapeutic for you as well. Even if you don't show anyone, you keep it to yourself, I think it might work. It works for me. But one thing for sure is stop pushing that shit down. Stop suppressing it, and start talking to people. And when I started talking to people, I realized I felt better. So I kept that going. And then I started telling my kids, because I want my kids to understand that it's not their fault, that these are my issues. I get overwhelmed easily, and I never used to before. It feels like, it's almost like a panic attack where you can't breathe. It feels like someone's sitting on your chest and you're breathing through a straw. And the only thing that helped me before was just shut myself off to the world, go into a dark place, my bedroom, whatever, in the shower, turn all the lights off and just sit there in the water and get away from all noise and all light. Because one thing I notice when I get overwhelmed is I'm really sensitive to light and sound. The louder the sound, the more it affects me. The brighter the light, the more it affects me. So I try to take myself out of the situation and try to fix myself. Another thing I learned that I'll talk about later on is breathing exercises, deep breaths. It changes, the chemicals in your body. It increases blood flow, and it helps you relax. I'll cover that later on. Some things you should check out, but one thing I wanted to get off my chest, and I knew I'd feel better, is just being irritable, being in a bad mood, being angry, being depressed, all that stuff. Talking about it makes me better, makes me feel better. So I just want you guys to know that you're not alone, and there are ways to get through it. And if you know someone that struggles with these issues, be patient with them. They feel like they're fighting alone. They feel like they're fighting that battle all by themselves, and with you by their side, reassuring them, trying to get them to talk, but don't force it. It'll help them. But you guys that struggle with it, there are ways to cope through it, and you gotta find what works for you. But what I've found is, meditation, breathing exercises, working out, getting that aggression out, talking is the biggest thing. Don't just shut down. Don't stop right there. You gotta push through it. People need you. Push through it. Find what works for you. I found that all of those work for me, and I have no doubt some of those things will work for you guys too. Nobody deserves what you're putting them through. You don't deserve to treat yourself that way. You don't deserve to treat other people that way. Just because you have these issues, it's not their fault that you have those issues. Your family's suffering through the trauma that you went through. You gotta do the work yourself. They deserve the best version of yourself, the best version of you. You gotta love yourself enough to take care of yourself. And that's on all areas, man. You gotta level up. Level up in all areas in your life. Health, wealth. Take care of yourself, take care of others. And you'll start to feel better. I will say one thing. Since I've started self-help, when I first had these issues in 2012, and I've sought out ways to improve myself, they're not as bad as they used to be. The moments of irritability, of anger, rage, depressed, hopelessness, overwhelmed, all that stuff, it's not as bad as it used to be. It used to last for days, weeks, months. It'd be rare to have a good day. Now, it's not as much, because I'm taking care of myself. I'll get, little spurts of those overwhelmed feelings, but once I start talking about it, it's like that weight is just lifted off of me, lifted off my shoulders. It's like I can breathe again. But you gotta talk about it, and it's hard. At first, I struggled with talking. Struggled. No matter what you did, you couldn't pull it out of me. And it wasn't until therapy, when I went through therapy, that I realized it felt better. And now I talk about it all the time. If I start feeling that way and I realize other people see it, I open up right away. Because I want to feel better right away. So I tell my kids right away, boom, I feel like shit. Here's why. Or, if I'm with someone and I notice that their behaviors change too, I tell them how I'm feeling. Girls want to hear that shit. They want to know what's going on. They don't want to hear you complaining all the time, but they want to know what's going on. Don't sit there all fucking day and say, I'm depressed. Woe was me. Or I'm irritable. No, but let them know what's going on. That way, they're not mind readers. That way they know, So, open up. Don't keep that shit to yourself. And they feel like girls like helping too, man. People like helping. If you tell them what's going on and you open up to them, they're gonna feel better about it because they know what's going on and they want to help. One last thing that I realized that helped me. Since I'm such a sensitive person to light, to sound, my skin's sensitive to everything too. And maybe that might work for you, but when I tell someone, my girl, if something's going on, and she starts rubbing my neck, my arm, for for some strange reason, that works too. I get goosebumps and just, I can feel the chemical change in that as well. I've learned that not a lot of people are like that, but if by chance you are like that, you are that sensitive, where even touch can change you in the better. It can change you to be happier and, you know, less overwhelmed. Try it out, man. Don't stop looking for things that help you. Your family deserves you. Your family deserves a strong version of you. And however way you treat your family is how they're going to become. And they're going to become resentful. And your kids are going to become irritable. They're going to become angry. When they get older, this is how you're raising them. This is how they're going to become. Do you want them to be angry, pissed off adults and end up resenting you and not want to spend time with you? Or do you want to raise someone that loves you but understand that you have issues? Everyone's got issues, but if you have these discussions with them, then you're going to have a close relationship with them. And no matter how much you think you're suppressing it, you're affecting people. You're affecting your kids. They feel that. They see it in your body language and your tone of voice. They know what's going on. They're just not talking to you. They're shutting down too. So, hope this helps, man. I got other videos on the effects of PTSD. I've realized there's not a lot of these videos out there. When I've looked and searched throughout the years, I barely see anything where someone explains how it affects them. And there's way too many people out there that have these issues and don't have any answers. So I'm hoping to help at least some people. All right, man. Hit me up.